This is the hand that was passed down from our father, and the hand that will deliver the iron claw to you.
What's going on, guys? It's the Well, What Do You Think crew, and we are back for a new review for Sean Durkin's
The Iron Claw.
I'm Omid.
It's me, Avery, guys.
This is an awesome biopic starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and
Hulk McCallany,
and they are portraying the epic and tragic life of the Von Erich wrestling family in the height, I believe, of what, the 80s?
80s. Late 70s to mid 80s.
Yeah.
And this movie,
boy, oh boy, this movie
is a
was
ride.
a gut punch.
Yeah, this movie is a ride. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for The Iron Claw, but we were very excited right when we saw the first trailer, because we come from a family of like all boys. So we have our mom, we have 3 other brothers. There's 4 of us.
Yep.
So instantly when I saw that trailer, I'm like, this is us. This movie's gonna hit.
This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and I think to cap out 2023, it was a home run.
I agree. I agree.
Loved it.
And the movie is so interesting because it talks about kind of the relationship of boys with their father, you know? There's like this patriarchy that's going on, and they do a really great job of kind of showing off the dynamic of not only is the brotherly love there, but you know, there are times when like sometimes you kind of fight for that parent's approval.
Yeah.
And just seeing Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, I think it's Harris Dickinson, and then
something Simon or something.
So there's the 4 actors that are playing the brothers are impeccable in this movie. And whenever I was talking to Alvin, when we watched this movie,
we watched it with Alvin and Ramadan.
We watched it twice actually in theaters. And I think what really makes this movie stand apart are 2 aspects. I think obviously Zac Efron as the lead actor is great. The first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, he's good, but does he deserve an Oscar nomination? Watching it the second time, I definitely do think so now. And I think the writing for this movie is really what carries it. You are really along for this ride. You care about every single Von Erich like they're your own sibling.
Yeah.
And it's a wildly emotional movie.
Because the first time we watched it, we're the youngest brothers of our family, and we had a certain perspective watching it. And the second time around, we watched it with our dad and our oldest brother. And I was really getting them to watch this movie because like, I want to see your guys' perspective on this. Yeah. Because you guys see it, have a different perspective and outlook than we do.
We saw it with an oldest brother, and we're coming from the youngest brother perspective.
Yeah. So seeing what he had to say, I'm like, that was exactly what I wanted, because he had different opinions than we did, and it really, really hit. Alvin already did a review on it, so I think Alvin was talking more on, I think, the writing and the acting, and those are all really good. What I kind of want for our review to be a little bit different is like how strong the brotherly representation was, because I can't think of a movie in modern time that really, because like this was like a live action Ninja Turtle brotherly love that I thought was like I haven't seen in a very long time.
Yeah, because I think what was really telling for me watching this movie, especially with my oldest brother, there is a moment when you see 3 of the main brothers. It's Kevin, David, and Carrie.
Yeah.
You know, they're all in the wrestling family. They are in very good standings with the father, Fritz. And you see that the youngest, Michael, is kind of like the black sheep. And he really loves music.
Yeah.
So when we were watching the movie and you see Michael is hanging out with his friends in a garage band, seeing Bijan's reaction of, oh, wow, they're all supportive of his art.
Yeah.
That, to me, was like, all right, see, this is not a toxic brother relationship, which could have very easily been, you know, backstabbing, trying to one-up each other. And it's very much a very healthy relationship with all these guys.
Not to go into spoilers, but I really like that our perspective for the first time watching the movie from Michael Von Erich, we were kind of like, oh, he was like the weaker brother because he was like, we said like the black sheep. But when we're watching it with Bijan, he said Michael Von Erich actually was the strongest one because he chose to do what he wanted to do. And I didn't have that perspective watching it, but coming from our oldest brother, he saw it differently than we did. I'm like, it changed my perspective. I was like, all right, now I do see them all on the same level. Yeah. And that was awesome. And we said the dad.
I think another important thing to talk about for this movie, if you were on the fence, if you haven't seen the trailer, if you don't know this movie would appeal to you, I think what actually works really well is you do not have to be a wrestling fan to appreciate it.
And if you're a wrestling fan, I think you'll have an even greater understanding of it.
I think you would very much, if you're a wrestling fan, you would appreciate it because there's like a really great recreation of like the actual
program,
the program itself, the way they're using like those overlays. So they do that very well. But if you do not like wrestling or feel like you don't even kind of, because you know wrestling is fake, you think it's fake, but then they kind of talk to you as a newcomer. They let you, they kind of hold your hand, they talk to you about wrestling. I think it is a great entry point this movie is a great movie for everyone to watch.
Yeah.
Probably in my top 10 of the year. For sure, my top 10 of the year. Yeah.
I loved also their needle drop moments in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Don't Fear the Reaper?
Yeah.
And I believe was their intro song like Tom Sawyer or something like that?
I don't remember the title of it, but their intro songs.
Because I thought that was also really cool to bring all the brothers together. Was that it was Michael Von Erich's like love for music that they said influenced their walkout theme.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool way to get all the brothers together.
Yeah.
And it's glowing. I really...
And also the movie doesn't always, I think, deal with the black and white, because obviously this movie is kind of highlighting the toxic relationship that a father can kind of have on their children, and kind of when you put your own career aspirations onto them, making them an extension of yourself, how that can be kind of poisonous.
Yes.
But I do think that they show that the father isn't all bad. It's like you want to have the best for your children, but the way he's going about it was not healthy.
Yeah.
And it is a very sad story. And there was actually another brother that we're not going to spoil anything of this movie, but there was another brother that was actually in the real life family that isn't shown here, that is kind of an amalgamation. They fuse him into the youngest brother.
Yeah.
But when you watch this, you are going to be genuinely surprised. You're going to keep asking yourself, like, there's
real?
no way this is a real story.
Yeah.
But they go into kind of the Von Erich curse, and I give it glowing recommendations. Do you want to go in final score?
Yeah, before I do, I guess the last thing you said for the dad, like, what I think makes this movie so strong and what's going to have a lasting impact is how it can be interpreted by people in so many different ways. Because, like, for us, we're both saying that, the dad character, we want to believe that the dad isn't a terrible person, but I can imagine for a lot of people who don't have the greatest relationship with their family, they're like, they can see their dad in this. I'm like, I've went through things that are like this, and dads can be like that. So I think it can be profound on the brother relationship, on the dad relationship, and even for the mom, like, she obviously cared a lot about them, but she took a back seat for a lot of things. And also the last thing that we have to mention, Lily James. Lily James is great.
W.
Riz, she is
great.
So good. I want to see more of her, because I remember I was talking to Al, I was like, what is she in? And he said she was, I think, in Baby Driver, but I looked up her Wikipedia.
She was in a new movie this year, too, I believe.
The big thing I remember from was with her and Sebastian Stan were in that Pamela Anderson TV series.
Oh, really?
That's what I remember. I was like,
she is Pamela Anderson?
I believe so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, or she's in. I'm pretty sure she's Pamela.
Yeah, well,
Anderson.
this movie put her on my radar.
Yeah, she was really good in the movie, and it's just a. If you were to watch the movie, I think it's really good.
If you can, try to watch it in theaters.
Support it.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to make a New Year's resolution. What I would say a possible one is, try to watch different movies, not only superhero movies or the blockbusters.
Yeah.
I think this is a great movie to check out. If you have not only brothers but siblings, I think this movie will definitely hit with you. Glowing recommendations on my part. My final score will be a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
My second viewing actually brought it up. I think when I first saw it, I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
But just sitting with it more and really just seeing the nuance of Zac Efron's performance. Because the first time I walked out of it, I thought
it was a little one note.
It was a little one note, and I still stand by my statement of I think Jeremy Allen White is good, but it wasn't a standout performance. Like, he's much better in The Bear, but Zac Efron is a true standout. And on the second watch, I'm like, all right, this guy I do think at least deserves a nomination. So I give it a 9.
I agree. So we watched it twice. When I first saw it, because I always do my rankings on letters, I think it was somewhere around like a B+ or like an 8 out of 10. But watching it again, I got a deeper love for it. And like we said, Zac Efron was really good. Even the dad I think was like, I would hope he would get like a nomination for like best supporting actor. But I did see some people saying, since it's like a end of the year movie, it might get snubbed for. Might not get anything. I hope it gets some nomination. It truly deserves it.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
On the second watch, I'm sticking around an A for sure. Top 10 of 2023. Zac Efron is showing he is a good dramatic contender.
He's got the chops.
He has the chops. I haven't seen Jeremy Allen White in The Bear, but I thought he was great in this. So it makes me do want to check him out in The Bear, because you told me he was really good in that.
He's great in The Bear. All of the actors, I know Alvin goes into the cast more extensively, but all of them deserve all the credit in the world. Sean Durkin did a great job writing and directing.
I saw this is like one of his first big movies. I think he only had 3 or 4 feature film credits, but this was like the first big one, and he did great. He did a really good job. Like,
can't wait to see more.
Yeah.
And even I would love to see like them do other wrestling stories. So, you know, we've seen The Dark Side of the Ring. There's a lot of really sad stories of these great wrestlers, and you know, it's a very tragic kind of business that you're going into. But yeah, I think it's a great movie. If you have time in your week to watch a new movie, I definitely recommend The Iron Claw. Glowing recommendations all around. Anything else before we sign off?
I was just say I'm also pretty happy with the movie that they did contact members of the family to make sure.
Did they? I thought they didn't.
Kevin Von Erich.
From what I heard, actually, when they were making the movie,
it was not when they were writing, but when they came to him to get the blessing, they did. So I think that's why it's kind of like a touchy subject. Like I think Dark Side of the Ring is good. I saw a lot of really crazy stories from it. So because I don't want to monetize everyone's pain. So I think there is a fine line to walk for that. But I think this movie is a celebration of a great family in wrestling, and that's the biggest thing about it. Glowing recommendations here. Go check it out in theaters. And yeah, hopefully we see even better movies in 2024.
Exactly, and for the new year, we're going to be making more content. We're going to be more consistent. Having new series come out. We had a Tower Defense come out last week. We're going to be doing more stuff like that. Yeah. So keep it locked on What Do You Think? It's been me, Amir.
It's me, Omid.
Have a great one, guys. Take it easy. See you next time.
See you soon.